I was muted. Alright, welcome to episode 2 of me trying to figure out what the hell the spiderweb is. 16 people in Among Us. There's no fucking way. I gotta check this. There are 16 people in call. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so some new things happened. There's more than just vote people out. There's a whole ass thing going on here. Wait, I just realized. Yeah, I checked this, and apparently there's like a spectator of the season. So like maybe I gun for this and get an award before I even play. Yeah, there just like hasn't been much happening. See, I want to join, but like again, I have no idea who any of these people are. And these are like actually like super good circle players, and I do not want to embarrass myself in front of them. Oh, thank you, Robert, for the summary. Cotstar on Raven. What's happening up here? Can y'all be quiet, silent? What is this? I'm also aware some people want to change up the meta. Yeah, I saw this earlier. Like there was like some joke about like the cycle of changing metas. It was like people want to change meta, and then no one wants to actually act on changing the meta or something like that. Everyone complains about no one wanting to change up the meta, and then they just end up voting the same way they usually do, which is based on contribution meta, and then it goes in a loop or something like that. So if it actually changes, that's like cool, but it doesn't look like anything's changing. It's just like throwing. People who are throwing, people who are pushing, and then oh, there's my Sonic Wave joke. I can't wait for that joke. These are the only messages where I can find some sort of contribution to the discussion from Raven. Pushing against contribution meta for a while, and it makes sense why they're not contributing. Okay. But how can we let someone who's not attempting to find a vote or contribute to discussion? I guess that's fair enough. I feel like that's also like kind of questionable. Like it's pretty clear why they aren't contributing to discussion. It's because they want to change the meta, and they're like actually working to change it. So basically anyone who's like straying from the norm and trying to commit to straying from the norm is going to get booted. That's really silly. I think one reason I think Raven is pushing anti-contribution is because they're just not contributive in the first place. If Raven is trying to like change up the meta to work better, then I don't personally see an issue with that. Generally trying to make this game better and make sure everyone's happy. At this stage of the game, you can't do much else. There's 48 people left. Trying to kick someone off for that seems silly, especially this early. Sorry for not liking BS contribution. That's becoming more and more nitpicky as time goes on. Yeah, I guess that's the problem with All Stars, is because it has to be nitpicky. We're not going to stop something midway through because you were vocal. What the hell does that even mean? We're not going to stop something midway through because you are a vocal minority? You're saying like saying like this person doesn't talk much? That is incredibly confusing. Vibe meta's the best possible way. The thing is, in All Stars, I don't think this works. I get what both people are saying, but I don't think vibe meta works. Yeah, I guess that is something. I guess that is like a valid reason. Like you push for a new meta, but you can't give another meta. Blue's been trying extraordinarily hard. Blue's trying extraordinarily hard to what? Bias against blue is mad questionable, and probably because you might have a weaker social game. In fairness to the weak social game, this is a social ORG. Yeah, you can't survive in a game like this if you don't have a social game. That's the reason I'm studying up, is because my social game is complete ass. There's 18 people in call. Jesus Christ. Voting Waffles for behavioral meta, but doesn't explain what Waffles has been doing. I don't think anyone else is gonna vote him, but my vote this round is on him. Does anyone ask why? If no one asks why, then I don't see the problem. I really like behavior meta. Can we please do that? I think you should probably give at least a little bit of an explanation. Just common sense. Yeah, okay. That kind of counts as an explanation. Probably not enough. I do see where Kata's coming from. Giving explanations, throws and stuff, giving ideas, but not like backing up your ideas. I can definitely see the issue in that. Somewhat good defense from Kev, even though I've seen this exact thing before. Well, you can't do much. You have to play, like, if you're playing your game, then you're playing your game. If it happens to be like the same throughout, then like I don't think there's a problem there. Everyone is speaking against the contribution slot but doesn't do shit about it. Proceeds to not add anything onto this. Okay, that's pretty ironic. The only reason Braden was in consideration is because he didn't improve after he got thrown the first time. Yeah, there's a lot of adapting on the fly. Like if your name is thrown and you end up being safe, you have to like improve your game on the fly, which I know for me is going to be ridiculously difficult, but it might be possible. The downside with this is that if you do have improvements, but they just aren't noticeable enough, and you're like trying to play like you're like trying to improve your game more secretively, it doesn't work. Like that's the one problem with this. Like you have to make sure everyone knows you're improving your game. The idea of teams in this is really questionable, I think. I feel like there's no purpose in having any like teams or anything. I don't really like perception comments like these. It perpetrates an unhealthy narrative that contributes to Team Lion's perspective, which I have been working so hard to dismantle. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, Team Lines in a game like this do not work. Yeah, if it's happening that often, it has to be like some sort of a trend. And if you're paying attention, you're gonna know who it is. Like, if I were paying closer attention to who was on whose team, I could probably figure this out. Game talk just for the sake of game talk is not healthy for us, especially when at this point in the round we have a vote already. Nothing wrong with this, however, it's not commenting on any names. You don't need to comment on any names. This says exactly what you need to say. What are you gonna do? Say who's chatting the most? You can just look up, see who's chatting the most, and just like, yeah, anyone can say I'm gonna improve and then just keep living. This is All Stars. If you don't want to be here until you're thrown, then I don't know what to tell you. And from the sound of things, this has happened before. How many times are we gonna let you get away with this? Oh my god, my throat is, excuse me. Along with that, only giving one link isn't really that good. Yeah, you can't be giving like one link in your defense. I'm sure there's more than 21. Or wait, when was the first one and when was the last one? That was this morning, and this was 4 days ago. This is like pretty early on. How many other people have? And if there's more than this? Well, consider, hold on, from Raven. Give me 21 of 3,000. There's no way. No, bullshit. There has to be more. I feel like a lot of my questioning is just coming from the fact that there's 48 people left, and that there can't be 47 others producing more than this, right? And if there is, it has to be like getting lost in the dust. They keep making suggestions to like change up the meta, but like never continues to push on it. Just we should probably move on to something else. We should probably move on to a different meta or something, and that doesn't act on it. That is a problem, I think. Okay, so this is me in post. I explained this really terribly. I'm sorry. But what I wanted to say was Raven kept bringing up the idea of improving the meta, but very rarely brought up how to improve the meta. And when they did, it was usually pretty lackluster. And the new idea, they just didn't really have too much of an explanation to go with it. So that's what I meant there. Sorry for the confusion. And I'm trying to like learn how to be a good how to notice these things, because that's something else I'm not exactly good at. John calls out Rocco. It's not a throw or task, just a needing of understanding. What's y'all's thoughts on myth? Like clarification on what you mean by this. Myth is cool, and I was very excited to play with Myth for the first time. I've had him host so many seasons I've played, so it's nice to finally be on the same side of the game. Okay. It doesn't ask what are y'all's thoughts on Myth in terms of the game. It just asks what are your thoughts on Myth. I think that's a fair excuse. Oh, okay, I see where this is going now. Is there a response from Rocco? Even just counting only our interactions in Kaza, he was cool. Yeah, that is definitely a term meant for that, but I think by definition, it is metagaming to an extent. Ooh, someone calling out Robert. I feel like this deserves a longer message or call out, but it's past midnight and ICBA. I actually don't know what this acronym means. He died. He died. What a bump. Acronym. That is not. That is not. I think this is what it means. But yeah, that's a weak one. I don't think we can take that seriously, right? Tim saying to split votes between 2 targets next round so that both of them can be zapped. Don't think it helped the discussion for me. Yeah, because there's too many people to be able to split. Like, that's actually a really good point. That's a really good point. You can't split at this point. You can't reliably split. There's too many people. It's all about finding balance between game talk and social talk. Want to hear his defense otherwise, but my throw is on him. Do we get a response? He wasn't really present during the last stretch. We had the big wad. When providing a thought time to time. That is fair. You should probably show some evidence as to what they have done.
What are you talking about?
Tossing the salad. Good one. Last couple of rounds, they haven't really had much input on the vote. At the Braden Zap, they vouched for a bit for Sergi, and that was it. It was a bit minimal. That isn't exactly a problem, I don't think, so long as you're at least contributing. If you're not pushing hard and you're just like bringing up new ideas, I feel like that isn't a completely terrible thing. Clearly upset over the chain and times was making it harder. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's gonna be really difficult to manage. How do you come up with an alternative to that? There's no alternative. Like, what's your alternative? To move? I don't think you would want to move or screw up your sleep schedule over the spider web. I'm not gonna lie. Making the salad fresh. Shut the fick up and read this. Good message. Didn't provide an alternative for last round. That's exactly what I was thinking. There's no point to be made. Also, please take this as a grain of salt. I'm still learning. I'm very clueless about this whole thing. Dumb Salad didn't throw anyone last round, even though he didn't want to do the safety chain. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like, actually, what is the safety chain? Do I want to figure this out? I'm getting the hang of it. I'm learning how to defend. I think I'm getting a hang of this, kind of. I'm definitely still a noob at this, but this is getting easier to figure out, like, how to throw, how to push, how to defend, and all that stuff. And I think I don't think any of this is gonna get me far, but it's still nice to know how to be able to do this kind of stuff. And of course, I feel like all-star throws and all-star defenses are going to be much different than deep runs in regular ones. So I will have to adapt to that if I end up making a deep run, which I probably won't. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm probably gonna edit this down and post this video somewhere. I don't know. Who knows?